everybody. Thank you so much. Welcome to Bailed. I'm your host, Ricky Camilleri. Steven Soderbergh is the most prolific director currently working. It's not an observation, it's a fact. He's just wrapped a new film last week, released an HBO miniseries a month ago, and today we're talking about a thriller set in a mental hospital that he shot himself on iPhones that comes out on Friday. Unsane is outrageous, terrifying, and a whole hell of a lot of fun. In a minute, we're going to talk to two of its stars, Joshua Leonard and Jay Pharoah, but before that, let's take a look at the trailer for Unsane.
Your life slips away from you, you know? Changing your phone number and your email becomes normal. Taking out a restraining order, normal. Relocating to another city, normal.
But you still see your stalker everywhere?
Rationally, I know this is my imagination, but I'm alone in a strange city, and I never feel safe.
There's some more forms you need to fill out. It's just routine.
I finished my homework.
Sawyer Valentini, please follow me.
Well, look, I don't have a lot of time. I should be back at work, so what am I doing in here? Take off your clothes down to your underwear. I'm not sure what's happening here. The door's locked.
It would be better for everyone, especially yourself, if you just do as I ask.
There's been some kind of mistake.
By signing this, you've consented to voluntary commitment.
I am being held here against my will.
Do you know how many calls the cops get like that every week?
Those are from crazy people. This man, he's followed me all the way here from Boston. I'm calling the cops. I want him arrested. My stalker is here.
We did a thorough background check.
You should be protecting me. Mom, no one believes me.
I'm getting you out.
There's nothing we can do unless you have proof that a crime's been committed.
I must be insane. I must be insane.
My mom didn't pick up last night. Hello?
I must be insane.
What happened to her? A dead body was discovered.
I must be insane. I must be insane. I must be insane. I must be insane.
I'm not crazy! He's here. Or maybe it's all in my head.
Everybody, please welcome Joshua Leonard and Jay Pharoah from Unsane.
What up, what up?
Hey, guys.
What's going on? Hi.
Thanks so much for being here. Congratulations. I saw this movie last week. I told you in the green room. I loved it. It's so much fun. It's crazy. It's scary. It goes in directions that you never see coming. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
My first question, I ask people this whenever I talk to people who've worked with Steven Soderbergh. He obviously shoots and
It's just
moves,
a lot of people.
which is a lot of people that I've actually talked to very recently because he's had like 5 projects come out in the last 2 months. What is it like working with him in terms of how fast you have to move? What kind of conversations you have? I've heard there's no conversations. You get there and you shoot.
You get there, he's got the stuff set up, like it's a few takes, like you don't even know that he's finished. He's like, got it. You're like, what? You got it already? He's like, yeah. And then you go on to the next thing. He's very, very, he's a genius, I'd say. He's a genius.
What is that like for you guys as actors? I mean, is that just like, oh, I'll just rely on my gut then? I'll go with my gut here.
I think you're relying on your gut, but you're also relying on the fact that you're working with a guy who's the master of his craft, and at the end of the day, if he says he got it, you got to believe that he's got it. And I know part of the reason we shot this movie on the iPhone is because I mean, Steven's main interest, when we had our first conversation, he said, you know, if this technology existed when I was 15, this is all I would be doing with my time. And I think that's what turns him on most as a filmmaker, is the process of making the thing. And so I probably even more so than films he's done in his past, we worked with about 90% natural lighting, and And we shot this film in a few weeks, so you're just jumping on the train, and you don't get off until the film is done.
And the iPhone lends a particular quality to this that is very much like, as much as it's digital and it's new, it has a sort of 80s VHS kind of color feel to it, like these dirty oranges and browns. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I understand what you're saying.
Okay, good then.
Talking about how the film looked. I understand what you're saying.
That's great. That's
We
great.
might not agree, but we
agree.
comprehend.
Yeah.
I think that's also part of what he did in the color timing process after the film was done, because the main look of the iPhone, I think, is the fact that you've got this massive depth of field where everything's in focus, which is different than on another film where you really just get foreground focus or background focus.
Right.
But in terms of the information, I mean, this film
It's 4K, right?
it's 4K native, which means it's got as much data as, an Alexa or a Red or anything that they're making digital films on these days.
Does that foreground, that sort of everything in focus element lead him to kind of shoot very close to the face when he's shooting? There's so many shots where it feels like a wide angle very close to someone's face or to the subject.
So he would have it set up on a track, and then that track, he would just like pan it over, and like you're looking like sometimes you didn't even know he was like in there. But he could just get there. I had never seen anything like that. And I have a Samsung, So, Team Green Bubble, for anybody out there. Yeah, try to discriminate. It's a civil war, people. But whatever, I'm going to stick with my Samsung. Wakanda, how about that? You know what I mean? Shoot. No. Another thing about it, man, I'd like to say is, Josh, I know you felt probably like this too, but it just felt more comfortable. With it being there.
I didn't feel that way.
You didn't feel that way? How did you feel, Josh? I felt it was more, with it being there and everything, it's like you're sitting with your friends and you're going over lines and everything comes off like even more natural. For me, I felt like that.
Because, it's a piece of technology that most of us probably have in our pockets, and we're so used to it, and somebody's always shoving an iPhone in your face. So I think it removes...
Definitely.
It removes the kind of capital F from filmmaking, and you feel like it takes up less space in the room, and you really just feel like you're creating something on the spot with a group of collaborators, and
it was gritty too, man. It's gritty. There were no makeup artists there. Like we were in it.
Except for Jay's makeup artist.
Oh, come on now.
It's the only
You brought
guy.
your own, Jay? You brought
the
your own
only guy
makeup
on
artist?
set with a makeup artist. Oh man, and did he take some time in makeup?
Yeah.
But back to the close-up. Stephen was saying this is the most close-ups he's ever used in a picture before, and he did it intentionally because I think there's a real claustrophobic element to the movie, and that's part of the thriller aspect.
Talk about your character. You play Claire's character's stalker in the movie. You're creepy as hell.
Yes.
Was the beard sort of a Jeffrey Dahmer look? I think that you're going for. Was that?
I apologize for anybody who showed up today to see my beard. I know I came.
They were excited.
I
Look like
came
Jeffrey
without
Dahmer,
it.
let's go.
My beard is so much more famous and talented than I am. And he just wouldn't come with me on press today. We had a whole argument at home.
There's an emoji of the beard and everything now. You can find it. No, there's not.
Oh, okay.
but there could be.
It could be though. You never know.
I play a guy named David Strine. I think you are right that he's not the nicest guy. I think
That broken.
broken. I think David had when I was originally talking to Stephen about David, I thought about teenage love. I thought about how you fall in love with when you're a teenager and you got blinders on and you don't have a full prefrontal cortex and everything is just obsessive, and then you add to that you add 20 years and an adult intelligence and kind of an imposing figure, but without the emotional development that comes along with adulthood, and you get a pretty dangerous guy. You get a guy who's kind of still 13 emotionally, and it's almost like Lenny of Mice and Men, like he's just kind of knocking over people as he goes, and he doesn't mean to.
It's actually a great comparison. Is Lenny like holding the rabbit or the mouse that he kills in Of Mice and Men, right?
It's the rabbit.
It's the rabbit at one point, but isn't there a mouse that he has in his pocket? He has a mouse in his pocket. Yeah. And same thing. Anyway, he's playing with it. He loves it. And then the thing, as soon as it moves a certain way and he can't control that anymore, he squeezes too hard and breaks it. It's very similar to your character. He can't hold things, right? Like as soon as something doesn't go the specific way that he imagined it, he kind of breaks it.
And I think, I mean, look, we're artists, so we're probably obsessive people by nature. But we're also, I've had enough years of therapy to learn not to foist my obsession on other people, or at least try not to. And I don't think David Strine availed himself of therapy. So he's just, he's a guy who gets fixated on Sawyer, which, who wouldn't fall in love with Claire Foy, and he's convinced that their love is this sacred thing, and if she can just see it in the right context, that she will see the same thing. So that's really his mission.
It's like Urkel if he was sinister. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like you get that analogy though.
Yeah, because you kind of get that from that show already. That
like
he's not
he was
sinister, but
like
get off of the Laura thing.
Yeah,
like,
he was like she said no like 50 million times.
Literally every episode.
He even invented he even created something so he created a chamber so he could get a change chamber. Like so he can switch his personality.
When he becomes Stefan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's look, think of that.
He had to trick her.
Yeah, that was
that's it. So Urkel plus 20 years and some internet and
there you go.
And a white guy, and then you get David Strine.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey man.
Jay, talk about your character.
Man, okay, so Nate is like the light in the darkness, he's trying to help Claire out, and he really cares about Sawyer Valentini, and he's telling her everything's gonna be okay, and he's helping her navigate through this weird world when she feels like she can't turn to anybody else. She feels like everybody else she feels like everybody else is against her. She feels like there's nobody there to be beside her. He's that. So he's the light in the darkness. And I don't know how much I could tell you because we ain't giving out too much. But
One of the best parts of this movie is watching it unfold in front of you. There's so many fun plot twists and surprises. It would be horrible to ruin any of those for people.
Definitely.
What was it like working with Claire Foy? It's such a rarity, I think, that she's not necessarily the newest actress. We have The Crown, but it's fun to watch her command a movie, be in every frame of a movie, and be like, "Oh, you own this. You are a star. This is what you should be doing." Right.
And in a part that couldn't be more different than the Queen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like working with her was amazing. The chemistry that we all have together, and the chemistry, basically, I think it just makes you act better. Like when I was with her, like I was like, "Oh, you going there?" I was like, "Okay, well, cool. I'm gonna go ahead." So so we gotta be like this. You can't be unequally yoked. Bible verse. Don't know if y'all read it.
I'm not familiar with that verse.
So no. But I feel like she just brings out the best in the people around her. And I mean, already like this guy's amazing. Like I was literally there was scenes where we were together. And that didn't make it in the movie. That were really crazy.
I'm thinking I know exactly what scenes.
You know what scene I'm talking about.
Where would they?
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, okay. Let's not talk.
And I felt bad because you were such a good guy, and I had to do such terrible things to you. Because that's what they paid me to do. But I felt really bad about it. I just want you to know that.
Well, I'm glad you have a conscience about it.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that those scenes were cut. To be honest, because you are such a great guy in the movie that I was kind of like, I don't really want to. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, and that's the thing. But there's another question in the movie. Is like, wait a minute. He's being too nice. Like, is he kind of in on it too? Like, what's happening? So this film just throws your mind in so many different levels. It's like, who's telling the truth here? What's really going on? Is this reality or is everything fantasy? you know. But back to your original question, Claire Foy is amazing.
Oh, there we go.
And she deserves everything. And
What was it like those two scenes that you have with her that are, you know, everything kind of slows down and it just becomes a sort of piece for the two of you. They're really great scenes. What was it like sort of planning those with her? Obviously, if Steven Soderbergh is shooting so fast,
Right.
do you get with her and plan them and rehearse?
I mean, and God, man, I don't know how much of this I can talk about, but
You just won't deliver the context of the scenes. We'll just
so
say that you
so
have scenes with her.
there are two major kind of. I play Claire's stalker, and we have two scenes that are a bit like cage matches between two wild animals, and I'll just concur with Jay to say that I mean, Claire is one of the most present actresses that I've ever worked with. She is, you know, she is right there for you all the time, and the loveliest human. So we're shooting. We've got these two scenes, and they're about 8 pages each. And the plan is we're going to shoot one on a Tuesday and one on a Wednesday. And
Deliver content. 8 pages for most movies would be about 3 or 4 days of
would
shooting.
be about 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so each one of those scenes is a scene that, you know, that takes at least a day to shoot because they've got so many intricate elements and turns and twists within the scene and shifts in power dynamics. And so Claire and I spent the evening before working on the scene that we had coming up, the first big scene on the Tuesday. And we go in and we shot it and we finished it by lunch. So Steven looked at us and said, okay, let's do the second one now. We're like, we spent hours last night prepping the first one. He's like, well, I can give you half an hour. Can you prep the second one? So we walked out and we prepped the second one. When we came back, we shot both those scenes in the course of a day. And
They're great. I mean, it goes to show you how little preparation you need, I guess, because you're both great in those scenes.
Thank you. Thank you. I was in a blackout the entire time we were shooting them, so I don't remember. But they were, and I guess that's what I was talking about. The you know, you just reduce so much time between impulse and execution. You get to kind of dive in and be on this journey that a lot of times on a film, you know, you'll do coverage on one side of the scene and then everybody will walk away for 2 hours while they change the lighting. And you know, as actors, you kind of deflate, and your job is to, you know, remember where you were emotionally. And on a film like this, you just never get a chance to think twice.
Do you have I mean, you said this a little bit, but have conversations with Steven about the characters? Because, you know, I'm curious if he even sort of cares about that part of the process. With a movie like this, everything is really in the script. You know, you can tell that it's a really taut thriller in how it's written. But does he even want to have conversations about your process with the character or finding it, or is it just answer a question for you if you need it?
I think if you want him to, he will. But he trusts his collaborators.
I was about to say that. Like, yeah, totally trusts. He trusts the actors. He lets us go. And if there's anything that you need to pull back or whatever, he'll be like, hey, pull that back a little bit. But like he told me, like for Nate, he was like, play it straight. Like play it. This was before we even started shooting. He was like, play it as real as possible. I was like, yeah, sure, I got that. He was like, yeah, I get it. No funny business, no impressions, no nothing. You know, just do it straight.
Although you are talking
That's
about...
the first time you laughed today. That's like, you've been sitting there like this the whole time. And that's the first time he was like, ha, ha. Yeah. He went back to it. I'm playing. But yeah, real talk. But yeah, he trusts us, and like he told me to just play it straight. And I think that performance, that like you're saying, and a lot of people have said, they're like, well, we didn't even know you could act for real. I was like, well, hello. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? But whatever.
I've seen White Famous. I know you can act. I've seen your show.
You've seen White Famous. You know I can act. Yeah. See that? He's White Famous.
But I did think you were going to do an impression at one point. At one point, your character was talking about Drake, and I was like, here it comes. And then they cut away. I was kind
Yeah.
of proud.
I didn't do it. I was proud of myself.
Yeah.
You showed tremendous restraint.
You do an amazing Drake impression. I mean, all your impressions are incredible, but it was nice to see you kind of like dangle it in front of the audience. and be like, fuck off.
I think he held back. I think he held back so he could give it to us today, right?
Oh, come on, man.
No, I think that's
do your
why you
impression
didn't
for
do
us.
it on set.
I mean, come on, man. Why would you ask me to do Drake? Like, come on. Like, I'm from Canada, dude. I'm nice. Like, I like girls. Like, they're beautiful. I treat women. Look, I'm all for the Me Too movement, bro. Like, I love it. Like, you know, I'm at the parades. I'm everywhere. Like, oh yeah.
Like, that's it. What does Drake be doing?
Got it. There it is. Do you have now that you haven't been on SNL for a couple of years now, right?
Yeah, I left in 2016.
Year and some change.
Yeah.
Do you still develop new impressions all the time? Or are you always thinking about new people you want to do?
Got over 200 impressions, dude.
Who's your newest?
Let's see here. I've been messing with Jason Statham and John Mulaney lately. That's been really fun.
Putting them together?
Yeah.
Jason Statham and John Mulaney, former SNL writer.
Having a conversation.
Jason. Jason, what do you want to talk about? Lauren has this good idea.
I don't know. I mean, Lauren's cool, but maybe we should do something. Well, maybe my wife comes in and I sleep with her and we do a sketch about that. That would be funny.
That's so that's, you know. So I'll
I
put
like
them
that.
together. Hey, man, I'm messing with it. Hey, thank you.
Did you used to do an impression for Mulaney when you were there? Did you do that for him?
I did.
And he was like, that's great. Amazing. Fantastic, dude. I'm going to go back to work now.
Because he's so uniformed.
I'm loving it.
Like, you know, I love that guy. Mulaney is dope. I'm a big fan of Jason Statham, everybody. I mean, The Rock, freaking, who else? Vin Diesel, all these people.
Hits.
Anybody you might have pissed off with your prior impressions, let's say that you love them now.
Like, ooh, let's be friends. You know what I mean?
Except for Carson, probably. Except for Ben Carson.
Ben Carson?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that guy. That dude is, yeah, wow. Ben Carson is a character. He's a character with his hands. I don't know these pinky take over the world hands he got. You know what I mean? He's plotting world domination. That's all I'm saying.
You know, it's just, you know, I love Unsane. You know, I love the way that the movie moved and everything. And I didn't see much. I heard it. I didn't see it because my eyes stay closed. But you know, it was a good film. I felt like Josh was great and Claire Foy was amazing, but Pharoah was terrible.
You would probably say that. He'd probably say that just because. It's so funny, man. Nah, we ain't gonna talk about it. Yes, let's talk about it.
For it.
Okay. So the week after I did the Ben Carson impression, they said, "What you think about it?" He was like, "Well, if we can't laugh at ourselves, then who are we?" Right? And then I did it again, and he started losing. And then they said, "Ben, what do you think about it now?" "I don't think it's very good at all." I was like, "Wow. All right, Carson, whatever. Go back."
Go back to sleep, buddy.
Go back to sleep, buddy. Yeah.
Let's get some questions from our audience. Who has a question?
Do it.
Hey, great to meet you guys.
What's up?
Good work. Yeah, so do any of you guys have like any ex-girlfriends that remind you of this character?
Of her? Of Claire?
And what would you say to encourage filmmakers to make their own films, seeing the fact that like me as a filmmaker, I may see this and be like, well, you guys are famous. You know, it might be like intimidating. But what would you tell, you know, young filmmakers about making films on iPhones and things of that nature?
Nice attempt at a save.
Get at it and try. Like, just try it, dude. Like, experiment. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know that you're gonna fail until you fail. You never know that it's gonna be great until you put it out there. So just don't be afraid to experiment and go that mile and have it in your mind that this could work or it couldn't work. But if it doesn't, I'm just gonna pick myself up and I'm gonna try again. And if it does, well, congratulations. Welcome to Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, stuff like that. Like, you know, so I mean, real talk. That's my advice. Josh,
I would just say, I mean, Steven Soderbergh's done this amazing thing, which is given permission. When this film goes out on 1,500 whatever screens, he's given permission to anybody who wants to go make a film on an iPhone to go make a film on an iPhone and know that there's the potential to get a release. I mean, my first film ever was The Blair Witch Project, which we made. We shot the film. They had to raise about another $15,000 to finish the film. We made the film for $30,000.
What?
The guys who made the film had to go back to delivering blueprints for a year to get the money to finish the film. And then it came out and it made almost $300 million. So that film that we made for $30,000 in 1997 could probably be made for $2 in 2018 because of where technology's come. So I think the reality is there's no excuse to not make a film anymore. The technology, and when people ask Stephen, how do I break into the film business? He says, you have all you need in your pocket right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you need to go make a film is an idea and the technology that you already have. And that's exciting to me. It's a really exciting time to see what people do out of that. And in terms of
I was about to answer that after you. Go ahead.
girlfriends like Sawyer. Sawyer didn't like my character much in the movie. I gave her reason not to, but I would say I've had a couple girlfriends whose main attribute was that they didn't like me. And that was kind of the organizing principle of the relationship was they didn't like me, I didn't like myself. We, kind of riffed on that.
Listen. Oh, one more thing I'm gonna add. As long as you don't shoot it on a BlackBerry, don't do that. Okay. If you still got a BlackBerry, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You stuck in the past. You need to let it go.
There was somebody with a BlackBerry yesterday.
I know there was. That person need to let it go. See, if you got BlackBerry, you the type of person that probably got dreadlocks all the way back here, and there's nothing on the top, and you afraid to shave the rest of it off. Like people afraid to let stuff go. That's what I'm saying. Don't shoot on a BlackBerry.
Let's get another question.
Hey.
Hi. So since both of you worked with Steven Soderbergh, who's like one of the biggest directors working in Hollywood at the moment,
right?
Is there any other high-profile directors that you've been a fan of that you both want to work with?
Definitely, man. Dude, do you
No.
first?
You take it.
Let's see here. So Spielberg. Definitely. I actually did some work with him. It's fine. We're not going to talk about that. Work with Steven Spielberg. Well, Spielberg, for one. I would love to work with Scorsese. That would be dope to get into that camp. To work with Antoine Fuqua. I'm a big fan of him, and we've been talking for years about things. And he called me up when I did White Famous, and he was like, oh my God, you can act. Yeah, I got some stuff for you. I was like, yeah, because I'm ready. I want to be right there by Denzel. I don't care. Magnificent. What's the next one called? Magnificent. It's 4 of them now, right? Because 3 of them got killed or something. I don't know. Spoiler alert. So I'm just and there's few anybody with. Damn, there's a lot. I would like to work with Ava DuVernay. Jordan Peele. I would love to work with him. That's my guy. Shout out to Jordan Peele. Y'all gotta clap for that. That's
Wasn't it so nice when he won the Academy Award? I don't think there was a nicer Academy Award moment than when he got on stage. He's like, oh, this is so nice.
And he's a good,
deservedly so.
Yeah.
He's a good dude, and he's a hard worker, and the fact that he has taken that genre and kind of just elevated the way he did, man. Hey, that's dope. So, and Wakanda. So it's dope. You know what I mean? You feel me?
Josh?
I mean, Scorsese, sure. I was so thrilled to get a call to work with Soderbergh, who's been from Sex, Lies, and Videotape from the very beginning, kind of, one of the reasons that I got into making films. So no, I can die now. I'm done. I'm done. It's over. I'm thrilled. Anyway.
I think for one.
You know what? Forget.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll die with you. Yeah. Cause Soderbergh is amazing of all time. So forget. So yeah.
Also that.
Also yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have time for one more question. Who we got? You, sir.
Thank you guys for doing this.
Oh snap, son! You look just like the dude from Oh Snap. What is that movie? The Marvel, not the Marvel, the DC movie. What is it? The boy. What's it? Aquaman. You look like Aquaman. That's crazy, bro.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, Jason Momoa. No, it's good. It's a good thing.
He's a good guy.
He get women. Okay. All right. Go ahead. What's up?
Oh yeah. So I was wondering, I'm making a short film.
Okay.
So I was wondering, do you guys have any advice? Saying, would you guys be in it?
Hey man, yeah.
You guys are supposed to clear those questions.
You got it's like levels. You can't just be you kind of jumping the gun. You got to talk to some folks, but hey, I don't know. Whatever it is, man. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, your agent's here. Should we call?
No, my agent is. My publicist is here. My agent is in the office.
Advice, practical advice. Having been on a couple of short film juries, make it under 11 minutes. That's strictly anything that's over 11 minutes. The quality has to go up by like powers of 10 because they want to program them in a program. Don't try to do too much. Short films work best when they're one concise idea executed clearly, sometimes with a twist. And yeah, just go balls out.
That's great advice. That's really good advice.
It's practical. It might not be inspirational, but
Practical's the best kind of advice.
it's utilitarian.
Guys, I loved Unsane. It opens
Thank you.
this Friday, right, in theaters across the country.
Yes,
Congratulations,
yes.
2 incredible performances. Everybody give them a round of applause and go see Unsane.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you.